They tried to silence him. They told him to keep quiet, to protect the image of the system. But instead, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi walked straight into a national commission and accused South Africa's own government of colluding with criminals. He said the police were compromised, that the courts were tainted, that powerful people, in suits, not balaclavas, were protecting murderers. And he didn't whisper it behind closed doors. He said it under oath.
To a point where we believe it is at real risk of a total collapse if nothing is done.
Justice system has been captured. At the center, Mkhwanazi, KwaZulu-Natal's police commissioner, a man who says he's seen it all, cases sabotaged, evidence vanishing, suspects released without explanation. His words were chilling. There are people in positions of power working hand in hand with criminals. Days later, the president suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. Parliament erupted, and South Africans asked the question nobody wanted to answer. If the police are compromised, who's really running the country? Mkhwanazi's testimony came like a flood. He accused
the Minister of State Security, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, and Correctional Development
officials, even his own minister, of interfering in investigations. Specialized task forces, the ones that hunted down assassins and syndicates, were quietly disbanded. Officers who asked too many questions were reassigned, sometimes overnight. He spoke of strange things happening in court, evidence files gone missing, prosecutors suddenly withdrawing charges, judges issuing rulings that made no legal sense. He claimed this wasn't coincidence, it was coordination, a deliberate network designed to protect high-profile criminals and silence those who got too close. And then, he dropped the biggest claim of all: interference from the presidency itself. He said police deployments in hotspots like Richards Bay were changed under orders from above, not for strategy, but to shield specific interests. If that's true, it's not just corruption, it's state-sponsored criminal protection. The nation was stunned. Within a week, President Ramaphosa announced a full judicial inquiry and placed Mchunu on special leave, a rare moment when power had to investigate itself. In Parliament, tempers flared. Opposition parties hailed Mkhwanazi as a whistleblower. Ruling party MPs accused him of grandstanding and destabilizing the police. Newsrooms scrambled for evidence, and every talk show turned his name into a headline. For ordinary citizens, though, his words hit a nerve. South Africans have lived through too many scandals: state capture, load shedding, assassinations. But this one felt different, because it wasn't about stolen money. It was about stolen justice. The backlash was ferocious. Supporters of Minister Mchunu accused Mkhwanazi of lying to protect himself from pending disciplinary action. They said his claims were baseless and politically motivated. Analysts pointed out that if his story was exaggerated, he could face perjury and career destruction. But if it wasn't, the entire justice system would be on trial. He didn't back down. He told the commission he was willing to hand over documentation and sworn statements. And in a country weary of half-truths, his defiance made people listen. Meanwhile, Mkhwanazi faced his own battles, including a R5 million defamation suit against forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan, who publicly questioned his integrity. He insisted the lawsuit wasn't about ego, it was about credibility. Because, as he put it, once they discredit me, the truth dies with me. Inside Parliament, the story became a political minefield. An ad hoc committee debated whether to subpoena Mkhwanazi for questioning, but eventually backed off, saying his appearance before the commission was enough. Some MPs called his claims a wake-up call. Others called them dangerous fiction. The opposition demanded immediate reforms to the police service. The presidency tried to project calm, promising full transparency. But few believed it. Every new headline deepened the sense that something rotten had taken hold at the top. South Africa's reputation for justice already fragile, was being ripped apart in public view. On social media, Mkhwanazi became both hero and villain. #Mkhwanazi trended for weeks. Some called him South Africa's bravest cop. Others said he was playing politics with national security. But ordinary citizens shared one common feeling: distrust. Because whether Mkhwanazi was right or wrong, his story exposed what people already feared, that the institutions meant to protect them are crumbling under corruption. Talk radio callers spoke of unresolved cases, police asking for bribes, and communities forced to police themselves. Journalists dug up old reports of political interference in KwaZulu-Natal. It started to look like Mkhwanazi's allegations weren't isolated. They were part of a long, ugly pattern. As the Madlanga Commission continues its hearings, the country waits for answers. If the inquiry proves Mkhwanazi wrong, his career is finished. But if he's right, if even half of what he said holds up, it means South Africa's justice system isn't just broken, it's compromised from within. And then the question becomes, can you rebuild trust in a system when the rot runs right to the top? For now, Mkhwanazi remains in his post, under constant scrutiny, watched by allies and enemies alike. But his words still echo across the country, a warning, a challenge, and maybe a last chance to clean house. The Mkhwanazi bombshell isn't just about one man. It's about what happens when truth collides with power. Whether you believe him or not, he forced South Africa to look in the mirror, and what we saw wasn't pretty. A nation built on the promise of justice, now asking if justice still exists. A police service meant to protect, now accused of protecting the corrupt.
85 suspects who are members of the South African Police Service were arrested. The notable one is the one who's now...
And a people who are tired of waiting for accountability that never comes. Maybe this commission will uncover the truth. Maybe it'll just be another chapter in a long book of unkept promises. But one thing is certain, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has lit a fire that won't be easy to put out. Because once you ask the question, who protects us from those who protect us, you can never unask it.